Hostiles at Bravo, I'm on my way. My trusty M9. I love this thing. It's so good. I can't remember if this is a mod or not, or if it's the actual pistol in the game. You can get mods for this game. It's on Steam community, the workshop. I even have a bipod knife. Can you believe that? Just like from Battlefield. I honestly can't remember exactly what mods I have on this game. I'm sure somebody will ask me and I can't tell you. I really don't know. I just kind of went through the workshop and I was like, yeah, that looks cool. I'm gonna click that on and use that. But how great are these pistols? I mean, seriously. They do a massive amount of damage. It's, I think, about 2-shot body shot, depending on how much armor they have on. It uses a point system, this game, when you're selecting your loadout, whatever class and whatever you want to use. Say you want to be an explosives expert or something, and you can choose an RPG for 5 points, and I think you get about 10 points. So certain weapons cost 2 points and all that. And adding suppressors costs more. It's actually a really cool system, so you can't just load yourself right up, have max level armor, 2 grenades, RPG, you name it. You can't do that. So it's pretty nice. I do like the way that they have that set up. And it's not just the pistols that have a lot of damage. It's every gun. Every gun has a ridiculous amount of damage to it. It's a nice damage model. I really wish that PUBG would have a damage model like this, but I don't know if that would be fair with their tick rate on their servers and all that stuff. But yeah, one can wish, right? Now this is more of a realistic shooter, which is why the damage model is so high. This game's called Insurgency, if I haven't said already, and if you haven't seen it in the title. And you might be asking, why am I playing this? Why am I playing this now? As I destroy everyone in the room. I love it. I love it. I love the feeling of the UMP. Oh, it's so good. The reason I'm playing it is because at E3 that they mentioned that there's going to be another game like this. Insurgency 2, I guess you could call it, but it's going to be named Insurgency Sandstorm. And it's going to be running on a different engine. Honestly, I can't wait. I was a huge fan of this game. The devs did amazing with this. I just love everything about it. This is the weapon system right here. You can see. You can put a bunch of attachments and suppressors and AP ammo on. Bunch of stuff you can put tracers on for free. So some stuff doesn't cost points, but you get the idea. It's a cool system. I love it. Anyways, back to what I was saying before. This game's so intense. I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted by my own gameplay here. It's like the feel of the guns, the sounds, everything. It's amazing. It really makes you scared. When you get into certain gunfights or someone shoots you from the side and you see the bullet just hit the wall beside you, it really does scare you. It puts you in the moment. And that's what I love about it. I don't know. If you played before, obviously you'll understand what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I'm not sure if it's on sale or what's going on. But the graphics are a little bit outdated. That's because it's running on the Source engine, and obviously devs can only do so much with that. In my opinion, I really don't mind. This is perfectly fine graphics. Call me old school, but I don't need super fancy graphics in order to play games. I didn't know I was the last guy here, by the way, and I also knew that we were going to lose, so I kind of just threw the end, trying to get a bunch of kills. I should have also mentioned earlier, the game mode that I'm playing, and this is one of my favorites, very similar to Battlefield. It's called Push, very similar to Rush. Same type of style. The attacking team has to push towards a certain point, hold it, eliminate everyone in sight there, and then hold it to capture it, and then they move on to the next point, and they gain more waves of response if they're successful. In this part, I'm defending, chose myself an FAL and a 7x scope, and decided to put it to good use in the back of lines, just camping it out. Why not? I was going to put a suppressor on it as well, but it was too tough to put on a 7x. I think it's like cost 4 points or something to put on this scope, and then the gun itself costs 3 or something, so I've already lost so many points, and then putting on a suppressor, I wouldn't be able to put on any armor, and my preference is to have the heavy armor on rather than light armor because, well, any sniper's going to destroy you no matter what. Like an M40 or something. A bolt action's going to destroy you. I could have chosen Mosin, but I prefer the semi-auto on this map, because this is my favorite spot. If you're on defense, you come to this spot, and you can pretty much see everyone crossing no matter what, and then you have the rest of your teammates on the other side, just watching them on the right side, and it's game over. If their snipers can't do anything, then you have them locked down, and there's not much that they can do unless they start chucking smokes, which I played quite a few games, and not enough people use smokes in Push. They really need to start. It's a vital grenade that needs to be equipped, especially on attack. If you're on defense, it's not necessary. You can put on flashbangs or nothing at all. It doesn't really matter all that much. But yeah, you definitely need to have smokes on attack. Not enough people are putting them on. I noticed that, and you just end up having to try to do everything by yourself. It's not that fun. You need a good team. You need a good team in this game. You can't just be running off solo. Don't do what I do. Do as I say, not as I do. I always run off solo. And my biggest problem on defense, and this is with any game, doesn't matter if it's a hardcore shooter, but if you put boundaries in a game, I always like to try to push them. And on defense, that's one of my biggest issues. This guy got dropped. One shot from the FAL. One shot. I didn't even have AP rounds on. But like I was saying, the boundaries I always like to push. So occasionally you might see if I go out of bounds, it'll say, you know, you're out of bounds and you got to get back, whatever. I always like to try to push up to the enemy spawn and spawn camp. That's just my natural instinct. And I'm glad that they have the boundaries in the game because there's people like me like to try to push them. And when you do go out of bounds, it'll, for too long anyways, it won't allow you to shoot. You won't be able to aim or anything like that. So you're basically just a walking target, which is fine, I guess, if you're into that sort of thing. So here I'm using the AK-74 with AP rounds and a grip. So anyone with light armor, I'll be able to one-shot. Heavy armor, I think it only takes 2 shots. It's insane. It's mad. I love it. I love decking out the AK because it doesn't have a lot of recoil, especially with the grip. Like, look at that guy. One shot. One shot both them. It's amazing. Now, my thoughts during this part of the map, I just wanted to hold down the left side because they seem to be having a struggle on the right side, so I knew that they were gonna, well, I guess their left, our right. I knew that they were gonna try pushing this side, so I just wanted to kind of hold down this spot as much as possible. And you know what I noticed? They weren't using smokes. The majority of their team was not using smokes. They were just trying to run across the open street and getting their feathers plucked. Not good. It's alright. My very first time playing this game, it was this exact same for me. Also, I should have knifed this guy. Definitely should have knifed that guy. The opportunity presented itself. There goes me. I'm dead. If you're going to start playing this game, which by the way, this video is not sponsored or anything. YouTubers are obligated to say when something is sponsored. I don't know if anyone knows that or if everyone knows that. That's a rule. Not only a rule, it's a law. You have to. So if you ever see any sponsored content, you should know. And if they're not mentioning that it is sponsored and it is, well then that's bad news bears. But anyways, this is not sponsored, and if you do want to start playing the game, my biggest recommendation is to maybe look up some gameplay first and kind of learn the maps, because map knowledge, not only in this game, every FPS game, is very crucial. This guy should have killed me. I have no idea how I survived this. This was beyond me. But you may want to look up some gameplay of certain maps or whatever, or just hop in and don't worry about dying. Worry more about learning the maps. Run around in maybe a team deathmatch server. I believe they have those. Because when I first started playing, I would just pretty much run through the open, thinking it's kind of Call of Duty-esque, because it does kind of have that feel to it off the start. But once you start learning the game, you realize it's nothing like that. And once you learn the maps, you'll realize that you can't just run through certain areas or majority of areas. People have them covered about 90% of the time with either sniper crossing which one way and another guy prone with an M249 spraying down an alley. So my point is just learn the maps. Don't worry about dying all that much. Obviously, it doesn't matter. Turn off voice chat because we all know how that goes in video games when you're doing bad. This was, when I first started, this was my least favorite map besides the other one. I don't know the names of the maps. It's been a really long time since I last played this. Ooh, the one tap. I love it. So good. I don't know if there's a headshot or not. I think this one's called Sanjar. I'm probably getting that wrong. It's probably not even the name of the map. What I'm getting at is this is now one of my favorite maps simply because I learned it. And I understand how it's played. And I know where people can sit, where snipers are going to sit. So I can chuck smokes depending on, if they're pushing them, if I'm on defense or attacking. Also, I went for a nasty flank during this part. I noticed that the enemy team was pushing quite hard, but they were also there was a little bit of a stalemate here. So you'll see. Sometimes you need to take it into your own hands. I always do this. When I ended up seeing that there's kind of a stalemate in the game, I'll do my very best to get a flank going. And I'll be that annoying player just in the enemy lines. You guys can't walk past me without having to fight me. And obviously, if they eliminate me, then they can push forward. But if they can't, then I'm just going to start picking off their teammates one by one, right? You keep moving. That's the whole point. And I feel like every team needs one of these types of players. You always need that floater, that guy that will always push forwards. Doesn't matter what's going on. And he kind of interrupts how the game is being played, if that makes sense. And honestly, I love doing this. I love being that guy that's just annoying in the back lines or the enemy lines, the spawn, or even halfway. Just, they always have to push through me in order to get to my team. I love being that guy. And the whole point of what I'm doing, like I mentioned, is to disrupt the game. And then eventually, subconsciously, they're getting scared from their back because they always realize that there's somebody that might be in our spawn messing with us. I didn't get this kill. I'm not sure who got this kill. Now going back to what I was saying previously a long time in the video ago. Insurgency Sandstorm was announced, and that's the whole reason I'm playing this. I love going back and playing older games that I really enjoyed in the past, but I just stopped playing because there's new stuff that's always coming out, which everything that's been coming out recently seems to be a battle royale that's just competing with one another, which is fine. I don't mind. But it just seems like that's the only thing that's really been coming out recently. And I wanted to go back and just try some older games. I'm probably going to play maybe some Bad Company 2 after this, who knows. But just mess around on old games and, you know, just have fun. That's the whole point of the games, right? You just go back and you have fun. It's the nostalgia, you know? Anyways, there's a lot of good games that are coming out. Shooters specifically that I'm excited about, because shooters are kind of my forte. Something I enjoy the most out of all the types of games you can play. Insurgency Sandstorm is definitely one of them. I'm going to be playing that whenever that decides to come out. They haven't officially released a date yet, but it's definitely something that I'm going to be looking into. It looks good. I'm sure it's going to be very enjoyable. Anyways, as this video is coming to an end, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you did. Obviously, that helps me out. I hope the gameplay wasn't too newbie, as I haven't played this in a long time, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.